Welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. Today's flight is one of severe urgency. We are on the ground with Bill Kerman, and we have a bit of a situation developing over the moon where our good friend Jebediah is floating freely around the moon, hoping for a way to get home. And I don't know how much delta V I can generate using the supplies that he has on board. So we have roused Bill in the middle of the night. He is in an exact replica of the ship that Jebediah is in. He has had his fuel tanks partially depleted. As you can see here, his monopropellant is pretty much what Jeb has up there, and indeed his liquid fuel has been decreased to show the amount of fuel that Jeb has. And we're going to just see how much delta V that we can generate using this craft, and hopefully that will let us know when we're setting up maneuvers with Jeb if we can get home. I was toying around with a few possible solutions that I came up with using the mission planner over the moon, and I just don't know exactly how much delta V I can generate, and as such I don't want to commit to trying to get home to run out of fuel short and then have a rescue mission be damn near impossible, trying to match some crazy inclination or really high altitude orbit to go save him. So we're sending Bill up. Bill is going to get into a stable orbit. He is going to perform a couple of thruster maneuvers to see how much oomph he has, and then he will splash back down, hopefully safely. This will be something that we've done several times. And we'll have more information to see if any of the plans I have with poor Jeb will work. Bill excited to be part of the rescue operation. Look at him go, look at him go. To save his good friend and fellow Kerbonaut. Now our calculations are going to be slightly off because although I have partially emptied one of the fuel tanks from the lander, I did not empty both of them because I want to make sure that I can get Bill back. But I'm hoping that that weight will be negligible, and as such will really help me figure out an underestimate. I can see the lower limit of what he's able to do. We're going to go ahead, we're going to ditch these now. We're going to fire our main thrusters when we get close here, and we're looking to just kind of skim the surface. We'll go around once, and then we'll burn retrograde here. To bring us back onto the planet. So 500 meters per second is the order. No pressure, Bill. Time is just of the essence. Now I should mention that playing the game, my first time through, so to speak, when I was learning how to build landers and whatnot, it was funny because you would design landers and not wanting to lose too many Kerbal knots, I would launch them on a traditional rocket and then start my powered descent through the atmosphere of Kerbin, and I would have parachutes on as a just in case, so that I could abort, so to speak. And one, you kind of get dependent on those parachutes, and when you're going to another body that doesn't have an atmosphere, they're useless. And two, because of the gravity and wind resistance and things like that, they really can't give you the full experience. But things like what I'm doing now were very useful when I was first designing craft. I would come up and I would see how much delta V different designs could generate for me. I would see what kind of speeds I was capable of, how long batteries would last, things like that. Actually, I remember when they first put batteries into the game, I had a heck of a time trying to redo all of my exploits in order to rebuild rockets that I used to fly so easily before. So definitely a useful skill. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a fake maneuver here of, we'll just say 500, because I know my mono propellant is not going to be able to surpass that. We'll do 404, I guess. We're going to go ahead, we're going to activate our RCS thrusters, and we are just going to burn these out until they are gone. So 404 is where we started. This is going to be a slow process, blading through the monopropellant. On Jeb's craft we had about 70 units, so that's what I have prepared in this craft. So far we've generated about 50 meters per second, halfway through what we have. $70 meters. It's 120 meters per second. So about 120 is what we have to work with. Now, in terms of our engine here, I gave us half a tank and then a full tank so I can make sure that I can get Bill home. Again, I do not believe I'm going to be able to generate this much, but 800 sounds like a good amount. And if I do manage to generate 800, where are we going? If I can, we're going to have a hell of a ride back down to about 240. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. So that said, let's go ahead, get into position here. 807 is where we're starting, and we have until this fuel tank runs out. So that's 100. It's 200. $300. So we have about 400 meters per second there that we can generate. I'm going to go ahead and bring him home, and then we'll move back over to Jeb. So here we are set up, and this is the closest thing that I can come up with. This is about 180, and this is going to be probably around 300 from the looks of things. And that is really, it's really a leap of faith. I forgot that I can't see my delta V here. It didn't feel like a lot, and I've also, I got some wiggle room. I'm going to go for it. We're going to use our model propellant, which will bring this down to about, hopefully, just 60 meters left. Then I'll use some fuel, hopefully very, very little. And then we're going to end up on this trajectory. I'm going to burn everything I have at the apoapsis to bring in my periapsis, and we're going to go for it. So with that said, we're going to line up for this burn. It'll be in 25 minutes, and we'll take it from there. So here goes everything for poor Jebediah. Alright, that's going to put us in position here. Going to switch over to docking mode. We're going to, I guess I didn't have to do that, I just kind of like those controls. And RCS thrusters on, and let's burn until it's gone. That's lasted a lot more than I thought it would. "20 meters per second." Well, alright, so it lasted exactly as much as I thought it would. How is that? That still doesn't put us out of here, so we're going to have to use our engines. Alright, that's it for that. 294. I estimated that it would take me about 300. I believe I have 400 units, or 400 meters per second that I can get. So I should be in the clear here. And that said, I really hope so, because to lose this would be a terrible orbit to have to go save him in. Especially with the inability to dock, so then I'd just have this piece of orbital debris floating out there forever. And that would be terrible too. But we'll set ourselves up 4 hours and 55 minutes until that burn. Coming up on our transition here. 20 seconds over, that's alright. We're going to burn to the max. Uh, 30 units of fuel left. 25. 20 units of fuel left. Still 300 meters above. We're going to throttle down, try to conserve some fuel. 30 meters. 25 meters. That is definitely within the atmosphere. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up just slightly retrograde. Oh, I should have been able to figure that one out. Slightly retrograde so that we can bleed up. We're going to have a lot of speed when we come back because we're going to be effectively falling into the planet from 9 million meters. So we're going to get ready. That was a little disorienting. Oh, for some reason I haven't escaped the moon yet. I must have slowed down too much. Oh, the moon caught up to me and recaptured me. That's actually kind of cool. Let's go ahead, slow this down. And I don't think I did an EVA from very high above the moon. I don't know if it'll give me anything, but I wasn't going to let that situation pass me by when it was handed to me so nicely. We're going to get ready, fall back to the moon. Not the moon, Kerbin. Fall back from the moon. Ooh, looks like we might... No, I was going to say it looks like we might get super lucky and land in those mountains, which is an area we haven't done, which would be so freaking cool if that happened, but it doesn't. I don't think we're that lucky. The fact that we're making it home is probably all of the luck I am capable of. We're going to watch that shrink like crazy here. That's okay. I always get worried during doing the physical warp when that warning pops up, especially after as much hardship as we've just undergone. It is going to be close. realized that we were still in staging mode. So we're not going to make it to those mountains, but that's okay. That would have been very greedy of us. I mean, it would have been amazing, and had I been thinking that far ahead, I probably would have been able to pull that off. But I am just happy to have Jebediah back home, where he is safe and on the ground, and we will have successfully landed on the moon. We will have come back. We will have run our experiments. Really, a phenomenal flight. A phenomenal flight, and we're just very excited here at Kerbal Space Center to be able to pull these kinds of missions off. Our parachutes have opened. The rocket has maintained integrity. That should have been the last hurdle we had to worry about. Plenty of extra parachutes here to keep us moving nice and slow. The entire craft should stay together upon contact with the water. Jebediah looking very confident. "17 meters till splashdown." Jebediah with a content smile, and we will go ahead and recover this vessel. $378 science earned on that mission. 8 experiments. We got our surface sample from the Midlands, our EVA from the Midlands, EVA from above the moon crater, EVA while in space high over the moon, that was useless, temperature scan from the Midlands, material study from the Midlands, observation of the goo from the Midlands, and of course the recovery of a vessel returned from the surface of the moon. 378, a fantastic success on our part. We were able to handle a hiccup with falling over on the moon. We didn't necessarily have what we thought to be enough fuel to get back, and we were able to take care of all of that. Really a successful mission. I'm very happy with it, and we got a boatload of science. So nice job. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.